All right, guys, we're here with the part two of my perfume collections, or at least the ones that are actually on display. So we'll get right into it now. I've had to sit down for this one, guys, because it's quite low. All right, let's see how I do in terms of wobbliness. So this is my basically these are my kind of perfumes I like to wear in summer, or things that I think smell better in high heat. So let's start over in this corner. Kind of tricky. So we've got La Rive Wave of Love. Now that is a dupe of Lanvin's Eclat d'Arpège. So it is basically a lilac-y wisteria tea perfume that is, like, to me, a much improved version of Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. I really don't like light blue. I think it smells super masculine. I'm not keen on it at all. Whereas Wave of Love in warm weather is more feminine. It's so pretty. I love lilac. So, that's one of my true loves. It took me a while though. I had to wait to wear that in warmer weather because I didn't really like it when I first got it. And then, if you can see, this is Jill Sander Sport Water for Women. This one is another tea perfume. I love tea perfumes just generally, but in like hot weather, they're so perfect. So this is weirdly smells a little bit like Forever and Ever Dior, but in a kind of added peach and added woods kind of way. It smells like a feminine gym scent, but it's also veering towards unisex. It's really, really pretty. It does have peach. It's got tea. It's just a lovely perfume. Then hiding here, let me try and get in from an angle. I just had to make space for this one. This is Forever by Agatha Ruiz de la Prada. And this perfume is another tea perfume. It's almost like a softer version of something like Jennifer Lopez Still. It has yuzu, it has hinoki wood, it's got wildflowers, which I'm pretty sure includes jasmine. It's very, very pretty. Really like that one. And then back here, I'm still not sure if I'm keeping this one or not, but at the moment it's here. It smells like a bit of a tropical fruit juice. It's Guess Seductive Blue, and I think it's plum amongst other things, but it just really smells like tropical fruit juice to me. So it's kind of fun. I really like the bottle, but I've only worn it like a couple of times, so it's just sitting up here until it gets warm again so that I can test it out again. So, all right. So then in front we have Kim Kardashian Pure Honey. I really love this perfume, but I only like it in hot weather because in cold weather I find it a bit sharp and like a little bit screechy. But in really lovely warm weather, this is like a perfect honeyed floral. It does smell like honey. You do get honey, but it's very floral. It's white floral. You've got honeysuckle. I think you've got freesia. I think there might be orange blossom. I can't really remember, but it's got beeswax in it as well. And what I get from this in hot weather is a white floral with a honey caramel. That's what it smells like to me. Beautiful, really affordable. So here in the center, we've got a brocade perfume from Russia. This is tomato leaf and blackcurrant. I used to wear this as a signature scent. I've been through many bottles of this. And as you can see, I'm quite far through this one as well. So absolutely delicious, but you can't really get this anymore, which is very annoying because of the sanctions against Russia. So I will talk about Herbe, because Herbe from L'Occitane is the closest you'll get to that one now. So Herbe also has honey in it, but it's like, I think there's blackcurrant, there's all kinds of crazy notes in this, but somehow it has that leafy smell, it has that herbaceous smell. It's slightly sweeter, to be fair, and it's definitely stronger, but those two are very, very similar perfumes. So CK2 in the middle from Calvin Klein. This is my other beloved petrichor perfume. This one it really shines in very hot weather. So whereas the All Saints Concrete Rain, I think that's like an anytime kind of perfume, CK2 has more of a sharpness in there in cold weather. but it brings out this lovely sweetness from the orris in from like the, I think it's orris butter. So you get this lovely kind of gently sweet irisiness. This one has wasabi, it has pebbles, it has a very noticeable rose to me. And I think CK2, again, it's been discontinued, which is a tragedy. I think it's one of the best perfumes CK Calvin Klein have ever made. Um, yeah, it's a real shame, but it lasts forever as well. You don't need to spray much and it lasts forever, but it is subtle. So I went over her base. So let's just look at, this is Aqua Colonia. This is the only big bottle of Aqua Colonia I had because I bought it as a tester, as you can see. This is red apple and chili, and it does smell like red apple and chili. The closest thing I've smelt to this is probably the Kayali, the red apple one that she's got. I can't even remember what it's called, but if you can imagine that kind of scent, but slightly less perfumey and with like a spicy chili note in there as well, you get a slight vegetal vibe, but it's like, and then a bit of heat. So beautiful. Then we have Ilio from Diptyque. So I had the hair mist of this first because I got it cheap from eBay, and then I really loved it. So I had to also go on eBay until I could snap this up off someone who didn't like it. So Ilio is prickly pear, and I think again it's like iris. It's just like, I don't really know how to describe it. It's very, very watery, very juicy. It's perfect for hot weather, and it's designed for hot weather. They only sell it in summertime. So yeah, I don't know. It's just, there's something very magical about Ilio, and if you want to try it, it does smell the same pretty much as the hair mist, and you can wear that as a perfume. So if you wanted to try it, then that's the cheapest way to get hold of it. I think you can get that normally for about 30 quid on eBay from people selling it. All right, then we've got my Aqua Colonia range. So I've got quite a collection going on here. We've got Cotton and Almond, which the closest thing, because people ask me all the time about this one, closest thing I've to wearing Cotton and Almond that I have is Born Lovely by Sarah Jessica Parker. I don't know why, they've got totally different notes, but they have that same kind of clean, almost like wet laundry smell about them. Cotton and Almond, it smells more like cotton than it does almond, I would say. It's very nice. It's a real shame they don't make it anymore. It is a limited edition. I think you'll see most of the ones I have that have silver caps, they are limited edition. So from the permanent collection, we've got lemon and ginger, which is exactly what it says on the tin. It is like a fresh squeezed lemon juice, but without any of the pith and any of the lemon oil. So there's nothing acrid or too sharp about it. It has a sherbety quality, as if the ginger in it is actually like a ginger syrup. I absolutely love it. It's more lemon than ginger. Then you have lychee and white mint. This is a super high heat perfume for me. This is one to wear when it's absolutely baking and you don't want anything else. It has a very watery quality. It's slightly fruity from the lychee, and then it has a very minty vibe to it, very fresh, zingy, kind of cooling, mentholated kind of smell, which has a slight toothpastey vibe to it, but I don't care because in hot heat, love it. Royal Riesling, this is one that has grapes in it, and when you first spray it, it smells very green, like leaves. It's not an easy going opening to Royal Riesling, but when it dries down, it really does smell kind of like a sweetened Riesling or like a kind of dessert wine or something, really pretty. Toca, Lucia or Lucia, I'm not sure how you would pronounce that in the more Italian-y way. That is a fantastic tobacco and fig kind of citrusy perfume that weirdly has a little bit of the profile of something like Moonlight in Heaven from Kilian, but I like it better because I think it doesn't smell as chemically as that one. So Lucia, I think, smells quite unisex. It's probably the most unisex smelling I've smelt from Toca, but oh my goodness, in summer I really loved this. It's really beautiful, such a good one. So next in the Aqua Colonia range, I've got the green tea and bergamot. Beautiful. Tragically, the tea perfumes they made were limited edition, which is ridiculous because I think they're the best ones they've done. But anyway, so it's interesting because it's powdery and very sweet while also being quite fresh and juicy. It's perfect in hot weather. It's more bergamot than green tea, I would say, but it's unlike any bergamot I've smelt before because it isn't bitter, it's not sharp, it's just beautiful. And then you've got the peony and sandalwood. That one, it's exactly what it says on the tin, but I'm absolutely sure there's musk in here. It's quite sweet. I think there's probably some kind of like tonka or vanilla or something in the base. It has a little bit of a vibe of some of the really light and more recent Miss Dior, you know, that kind of thing. It's really pretty easy to wear, and it veers towards the kind of peony that smells a bit like rose, but in a very gentle way, because rose isn't my favourite and peony I often find screechy, but this one not so much, but I could only wear it in summer. Then you've got starfruit and white flowers, which is beautiful. It is how do you even explain what this smells like? I'm pretty sure there's jasmine, but it has the vibe of spring blossom about it. And I'm very fussy about jasmine, but it's gorgeous. The starfruit makes it smell really, really pretty and a kind of unusual fruit. It's a little bit like my Guess Dare, but without the muskiness. So it's like perfect and sheer and wonderful for hot weather. Then you have pomegranate and eucalyptus. That one, again, is exactly as you'd imagine. It's got quite a syrupy berry kind of version of a pomegranate, and then a slight eucalyptusy smell, that slight mentholated vibe. Really, really pretty. Again, really beautiful. I need to wear that one again. I haven't worn that for ages. I can wear that in more than just summer, to be fair, that one. This one, only in summer. Coconut water and yuzu, absolutely brilliant perfume for summer because it kind of smells more pineapple-y than yuzu-y, but it does, when you first spray it, you get that kind of yuzu vibe where it's like very citrusy. But then it turns into what smells a little bit like pineapple juice and coconut water. And in terms of coconut water, it definitely smells like coconut water at first, and then the more it dries down, it turns into a slightly sweetened coconut creamy smell, but it's still watery and sheer. Beautiful, absolutely love it. I think it might be the only coconut that's survived in my collection, like proper pure coconut. Then we have goji and cactus. This is a sexy one, guys, because this is thick and sweet. It's the strongest, I think. This probably followed by the red apple. Like, this is the strongest aqua colonia I've had. It's very sugary sweet. It's syrupy. I don't really know what cactus extract smells like, although I do have that in my Guess Dare as well. My husband thinks this one's sexy. It reminds me quite a lot of Britney Spears. What's it called? Prerogative Ego. That flanker of the which is like a stronger goji berry. So it's got a very noticeable goji berry. And then we've got Matcha Frangipani. What an absolute beauty of a perfume. Aqua Colonia Matcha Frangipani is so beautiful. It does have a powdery matcha tea quality, and then it's got a powdery but sweet floral from the Frangipani. It's just super pretty. So yeah, so that's my perfumes that I really generally just wear in summertime, things that I think work best in high heat. And then let's move up to what I think of as my floral perfumes. So these are things where I think, you know, I have to be in the mood for something quite flowery in order to want to wear these guys. So let's start up here. So up here we've got, this is Stella Pop Bluebell. This one it's got exactly the same notes as the original Stella Pop, except it also has a bluebell note. I think it's less like the smell of a kind of Barbie doll. It's got less of that plastic doll head smell and much more of a almost white floral scent. So it's much sharper, it's more astringent, but it's really perfect in spring weather, really pretty. How we get to this one? I might have to move this. So then we've got Eau Freesia from Diptyque. This is a really beautiful freesia perfume. I've never really smelled anything like this. It's the kind of the closest freesia-y vibe that I've got to Dior Forever and Ever, but they don't really smell alike. Eau Freesia has a huge dose of black pepper in it. So it's a really interesting scent. It's super, super pretty. It's very feminine, really, really pretty, really lovely. Yeah, really quite unusual, that one. Very unique. And then behind it, we have O'Mahely, which is a very watery and beautiful ylang ylang perfume from Diptyque. It has ginger. It might actually have black pepper as well, but it's another one that's spicy, quite unusual, very juicy. The only thing I smelt that smells like this, that reminds me of this, is the Charlotte Tilbury perfume called Joyful. I find that one much more synthetic smelling, but it does have a little bit of a vibe of O'Mahely. So yeah, that could be a more affordable alternative if you like that one. Then we've got Stella Pop, the original. I have a small bottle of this as well. And then I have a little rollerball. And weirdly, the rollerball is the strongest concentration of any of the versions I've got of Stella Pop. Stella Pop, oh my goodness, it's tomato leaf, it's violet, it's tuberose, it's frangipani, it's loads of sandalwood. It's so beautiful, and to me this is one I put on when I either want a tuberose or I want a violet. Like, those are the two things I get out of this the most. Everyone says it smells like Barbie dolls. It does have like a plasticky scent to it. It's really beautiful. Down here we have Belle de Grace from Fragonard. This is a stunning mimosa perfume. When you first spray it, super green, not the easiest going when you first put it on, but oh my goodness, the dry down is incredible. It's so feminine. It smells like you're running through a field of mimosa. So beautiful, very powdery, gorgeous. Then we've got Roger and Gallet Fleur de Osmanthus. Gosh, you can see I'm really shaky. Let's see if I can hold this in a more sensible way. So Fleur de Osmanthus is well, it's osmanthus, but really it kind of smells like a peach tea. Almost reminds me of like peach Lipton ice, if you see what I mean. So I've got it with the florals, but it's almost a little bit more fruity, but really lovely. So my other osmanthus perfume is this one. This is Hugo Boss, and this is Pure Accord. So this is musk and osmanthus, and it's well, that's pretty much it, to be honest. So it has a peachy quality. I just found this one the easiest to wear out of all of the Scent for Her perfumes. Then we have this one. This is let me try and get into the right position here. Citrus Soleil is a Marks and Spencer's perfume that smells a little bit like Love Don't Be Shy, but a much easier to wear, more juicy, more citrusy version, not quite as intensely sweet. And then this is a re-release of one that was called Among the Orange Groves, I think it is. So yeah, it's super affordable, really good. You get it in a set at the moment with a little 10ml. It's really so bargainous. I think it was like £18. This is a long-term love of mine, Dior Forever and Ever Dior. Just so beautiful. It's freesia and a little bit of rose, a little bit of jasmine, but I think there's also like almond blossom and ivy. Oh, just stunning. Beautiful perfume. I wore this for my wedding. Down here we have Diorissimo from Dior. This is the only, in fact, I think it probably will remain the only Lily of the Valley perfume in my collection, the only one I need. It's not my favourite note, but somehow Diorissimo is just the most perfect version I've ever smelled of Lily of the Valley. It's probably because there's a hint of ylang ylang in this one. So it's perfectly sweet, but not too sweet, but it's not screechy. I find so many white floral screechy. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful perfume. This one's Molten Brown Blossoming. Let's get to the right position. Blossoming Honeysuckle and White Tea. It kind of smells... It doesn't necessarily smell like honeysuckle to me. It does smell floral, but it smells like there's literal honey in this. So it has a watery but kind of rich tea vibe, almost like a black tea or something, rather than white tea. And then it's got this kind of honeyed floral, really beautiful. So this is In Love Again from Yves Saint Laurent. This was my signature scent for, well, I mean, at least a year, I think. So I've been through many bottles of this perfume, and that's why I've got a hella dent in this one. So In Love Again has, I mean, it smells to me like a, how do you describe it? Like a muscat wine. It's so beautiful, really, really pretty. Citrus by Kayali smells to me like a rip-off of In Love Again, but it's ever so slightly stronger. So in love again. It has beautiful citruses. It's got blackcurrant, it's got rose, but it's got this muscat grapey smell. It's just so lush. The reason I bought that is because the old version of it says it's got a tomato leaf in it, which is one of my favourite notes, and I'm quite sure there's still tomato leaf in that. So then we've got Le Jardin de Monsieur Lee from Hermes. And this is just, if I can, it doesn't really want to focus on it. There we go. I think we've got it. It's something like some kind of sap and jasmine and kumquat. And I don't normally like jasmine, but it's like super unusual in this perfume. It doesn't smell like any jasmine I've smelled before, but it's really beautiful. Very, very pretty. I find that one an easy wear. Ted Baker XO Extraordinary Woman is my favourite tuberose perfume, and unfortunately you can't get it anymore. They don't make it anymore. But it's got heliotrope in it, and it's quite watery, and it's not too sweet. And that's what I like about it, because so many tuberose perfumes get so bubblegummy that they become sickly to me. But I think this one's beautiful, and the heliotrope really comes through in the base and gives it a slightly powdery quality. All right, so then we've got Something Blue from Oscar de la Renta. This is really unusual. It's got, and again, I always get mixed up between Linden Blossom. I think it's Linden Blossom in this. So it's supposed to be a wedding perfume, and it totally smells like it. It's like a bunch of white florals with the kind of little Linden Blossomy bits in between. And then I get quite a noticeable vanilla in the dry down of this one, but it is also green. It's very green when you first spray it. It's really interesting. It's a green vanillic white floral that definitely gets sweeter as it dries down. This is one of my old time loves as well. This is one that was briefly a signature scent of mine. Jean-Charles Brousseau, and this is Fleur d'Ombre Rose, not Ombre Rose, because that's an old-fashioned powdery rose. This is Fleur d'Ombre Rose, which is a fruity rose. It's my favourite rose. It's probably going to end up being the only rose in my collection. I mean, I might have some other that have rose, but one that actually smells like rose. This smells to me like roses, and it smells like pink, beautiful roses and pink jelly babies, because it's got like mango and raspberries. It's like got this really yummy sweetness. This one here is a lovely perfume from Guerlain. This is the Mon Guerlain, and this is Le Essence, I think it's called. L'Essence? Le Essence. Le Essence from Mon Guerlain. I think this was only released in not in the UK. I think it was maybe only released in Asia or somewhere, but this is a tropical version, if you can imagine, of Mon Guerlain. So it has a ton of frangipani in it, but it comes across to me very much like a mixture between Guerlain Terracotta and the original Mon Guerlain. So it has this kind of buttery floral, which I normally hate, but somehow in Mon Guerlain it just smells fine. It smells great, and I'm like, oh, it's really beautiful. But yeah, it's quite different from the original. Maybe one that's taken the furthest turn away from it, but you get more of it in the dry down. And then last on this bit is Matsu from Matsiki Paris. Masaki, I don't know how to say that, I'm afraid. So Matsu is a gorgeous lilac, a very soapy, strong lilac perfume that replaced a Drop de Issy for me, because a Drop de Issy was just too much Ambroxan, whereas Matsu is an easier wear for me, and it's in this really cool bottle. So yeah, I mean, I think they don't make this one anymore, unfortunately, but I think it's really beautiful. And yeah, but if you like the idea of a soapy almond and lilac perfume that smells like a really strong lilac bar soap, and you can't get Matsu, then go for Drop de Issy. So that is my floral perfumes. Really, really beautiful. I'm trying to get that so you can actually see it. There you go. So that's that cube. So we'll move over now to the last of my cubes.